They meet in secret, cling to their guns, and speak darkly of government conspiracies and potential civil unrest. They monitor the polls on Election Day and have been seen striding the rooftops of Ferguson, Missouri, armed with automatic weapons. They're the Oath Keepers, and the New Jersey Office of Homeland Security has grouped them with militia extremists and domestic terrorists. The state says they pose a moderate threat to you, the same level of threat as Al-Qaeda and ISIS. But who are the Oath Keepers, and what do they actually stand for? Is this picture accurate or misguided paranoia? We wanted to hear from the Oath Keepers themselves. The Aurora Project was given exclusive access to the state meeting of the New Jersey Oath Keepers. What you're about to see has never been depicted on television before. Much of it is mundane.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
What's the mission? Well, we want to reach, teach, and inspire military and law enforcement to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, therefore enabling freedom and guaranteeing every citizen of their civil liberties. But we're not an armed militia. We don't conduct any military exercises. We're pro-government. We want good government to be for the people. We're 100% supportive of law enforcement. We support the Constitution. We support the Bill of Rights.
The center of the Oath Keepers' philosophy is the actual oath taken by members of the military and law enforcement who swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Fealty to that oath has led to the creation of the Oath Keepers' list of 10 orders we will not obey because they believe they would be unconstitutional. These 10 orders include refusals to disarm Americans, place them in detention camps, detain them as enemy combatants, or collude with foreign troops brought onto U.S. soil to keep order. But hate watch groups like the Southern Poverty Law Center point to statements made by Oath Keepers founder Stuart Rhodes, a Yale-educated Army airborne vet, is a smokescreen for the extremist militia movements of the 1990s, allowing groups to regain strength, regroup, and burst forth into racial hate. It's the active recruitment inside law enforcement and military ranks that concern Homeland Security officials the most, with fears of sleeper cells that could burst forth during a crisis situation.
We got to get a fundraising initiative, I guess, in place in 2017 to try and get more billboards up so more people know about us and the chapter can grow.
But unfortunately, I don't know where everybody is. I was hoping that the room wasn't going to be big enough today. What are we doing wrong? What do we need to do to build this organization?
The Second Amendment is for everyone. I try to get friends to come to that again, and what I usually say is it's a networking event because, quite honestly, it is a networking event. One of the reasons why I joined Oath Keepers is not too long ago, a couple of overzealous law enforcement officers broke into my home to answer to a complaint that I didn't even know I was a party to.
Having just come home from work, Keith heard 2 loud thumps outside his apartment. He grabbed his legally owned and purchased handgun, which was inside his day planner, to see what was going on. It turns out it was 2 Jersey City police officers. They took Keith into custody, searched his apartment, and threw him in jail. First time in jail?
First time ever. They kept me there for a total of 35 days. It was after 2 weeks I was actually able to contact somebody on the outside.
Keith was charged with multiple weapons offenses, but they were all thrown out by a judge who said Keith's handguns were legal and the search of his apartment invalid. It was that event 4 years ago that shapes how Keith sees his place in the world today.
Figure if it's a guy like me, a regular milquetoast guy like me, can get caught up like that, who else can get caught up?
A lot of people in your situation, a lot of African American men, after that happened to them, they could have gone ACLU, could have gone government. No one would have blamed them for that. Why did you choose to go to the Oath Keepers? Why did you choose to do maybe a different path than a lot of people expect?
I'm glad you asked, because my girlfriend at the time actually had connections to community action groups, and when they heard the charges were weapons possession, not murder, not theft, not drug dealing, but simply exercising my Second Amendment rights, they wanted no part of it.
Really?
Even the Founding Fathers said that what separates a citizen from a subject is the ability and the right to own and bear arms.
And you believe that firmly?
Absolutely. You're either free or you're not.
Many of the Oath Keepers were sympathetic towards President Donald Trump and were openly musing that Hillary Clinton, if elected, could use a false flag national emergency to impose martial law on the United States. They're pleased that Trump won, but they say they're willing to subject him to the same scrutiny they would hold any other president under.
If any part of the three branches decides to overstep their boundaries, we call them out on it, regardless of what political party. The first thing and the only thing to us is obeying the oath to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. That's it. Everything else is just, well, it's water cooler talk.
Tomorrow on the Aurora Project, what does Homeland Security think of the Oath Keepers and why? And how did the group affect one of the most closely watched congressional races in the nation?
We are, I guess, for lack of a better term, trained professionals.
Sure.
And I think that that bothers them, that there's an organization of trained professionals that believe in the Constitution. I think they look at us as a threat.